collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new TakaraTomy Transformers Legends LG61 of the Clonetron set of Pounce and Wingspan. For the packaging, this is the front of the box. And this is the back of the box. Go ahead and pause it right now in case there's anything that you'd like to or can actually read. And here we have Pounce and Wingspan open up out of their packaging and obviously in their alternate modes. Now, one thing that's interesting, I find this completely hilarious. Here are the instructions. You got a really cool image there of Pounce and Wingspan. You open it up, you got the tech specs, all that stuff. I'm not going to translate all that because it's kind of redundant. But, and then on the other side here, you got a little comic book. Maybe it goes this way. Yeah, it goes like that. So you got a little comic going on here. One thing that's interesting, though, you got the instructions on how to transform both of these guys. They give you this little thing, and I'm like, what is this little thing? And it's on the side here, it's a smaller image of this, and it's got like these, like this and this highlighted. You can see like there's extra, like squares around it. And then you can see that 1 is 1 and 2 is 2. Because I think that they put the wrong ones on here. And you can kind of see that. So when you look at it, I just find it funny that they included this little bit to show you that the end result of the transformation is a different character. So, like, for example, here's Wingspan. You're going through the transformation, and that's the robot mode for Pounce. It's the same thing down here for Pounce. You go through the transformation, and that's the robot mode for Wingspan. I just find it hilarious that they included a little corrective paper for it. Good job. It's funny. Okay, but here we have Pounce and Wingspan. Now, again, these were initially available separately. I think to get Wingspan, you had to get Cloudraker. I don't remember exactly, but like this guy was available exclusively, and then just by himself, and then like Fastlane was available exclusively by itself. Wingspan here was available with Cloudraker as part of a 2-pack, so you had to basically go all over the place and buy those. So I just waited for the Takara versions to come out. I like these ones a little bit better, especially in terms of the paint detail, and they came together. So it made it a lot easier for me. Now, in terms of the differences of the paint, I'm not 100% certain. I know that the Hasbro version, Pounce's legs here were white. I think this back section here was also like a purple color or something. I think that with Wingspan, the purple color up here was a lighter purple. I don't really recall all that much. I just looked at pictures, and like I said, I didn't pay much attention to those ones. But taking a look first at Pounce, I do like the way that both of these guys look. I think that the colors on these look a little bit better than maybe the Autobots, but both are still really very, very nice. You got a very white but very nicely detailed head sculpt here, some red eyes. Like I said, the colors here I know have been swapped around, so I'm not 100% certain. I know that these two have been changed. I'm not sure about the other ones, but overall, I mean, pretty decent looking. Now, one thing that I will say is a little bit unfortunate is these arms here don't really tab in anything. I wish there was some kind of a tabbing mechanism to lock these permanently into place. As it is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that looks a little bit better, kind of tucked up along the body, I guess. I think that the official transformation has them pointed down, but it doesn't lock in. I wish that it locked in somewhere. Not so much here with Pounce as Wingspan is. These ones kind of move around a little bit, but we'll touch on that. Really cool looking. For his articulation, I guess the shoulder bits here are on little swivels. You also do have little hinges here down at I guess what would be the elbow. I don't think the mouth don't open or anything, and then these back legs can move forward and back. I guess you could say that this moves forward as well. I guess you could position that a little bit further back like that if you wanted to have a more exaggerated leg sort of thing. Both of these guys, you can use Titan Masters with them. I'm going to bring in my good old buddy Cup here. You got a little tab right here. You can just put that right there, and you can have them riding around on them if you wanted to. You can also do that here with Wingspan. They have the little section here at the top. Again, you just put that right there, and you can have him flying around with that as well. That might look really cool with like Onyx Prime later on when that comes out. I know that's the one. The Onyx Prime is the one that comes with the Predacons. I know that I'm going off on a tangent here, but I do that sometimes, people. The Predacon set comes with Onyx Prime as an exclusive. That's how you're going to get that little Prime Master. And I was talking about that in another video. I don't remember, but there you go. So there's Pounce. For Wingspan, again, they share a very similar design. Both these guys as well as Fastlane and Cloudraker, so you're going to have a very similar kind of transformation and such. Really nice purple. I like this color here on his wings. That looks really very cool. You got the little tail thing right here, the little mouth, instead of a little cat head, it's a little bird or eagle head or something. You got the nice red eyes there. You do have, and this is what I was kind of talking about, I wish this would tab in. You do have little feet right here that are on little hinges, so you can kind of get him sitting like this, but his head's always going to be pointing upward a little bit. Now you can bring that back down as well, but like I said, I wish that this tabbed into something. It doesn't, from what I can see, so you're kind of always going to have it like that. But you do have a little hinge here for these back legs, and these kind of flop around a little. Let's see, the wings, I guess you could kind of say these are articulated. This here is meant to tab in, so you can kind of detach that and sort of position this around a little bit, but it's not supposed to, but you could if you really wanted. So there are the little beastie modes for these. Now to transform Pounce, first we're going to come around to these legs. We're going to straighten them out and then tuck these up and in just like so. Come around to the back area here, you take the head, you rotate that all the way around like so. Take this tail, well, you can, before you do that, take this bottom section, fold this all the way up, and this just kind of sits there, and then you bring that down. Let's see, kind of, well, I guess it really doesn't matter how that goes. It kind of feels like it should sit there now. That's perfectly fine. And then we're going to rotate here at the thigh, bringing the feet towards the front, and then just take this entire section, and this rotates around to the back, and that brings his arms out here. Rotate the lower forearms, do that on both sides, and then these, you can kind of collapse these down along the back, and then spin his head around. And there you have Pounce in his robot mode. We're going to set him off to the side for right now, and then we come to Wingspan. Again, very similar transformation between all of these. We're going to take this, fold this up like so, take the head, rotate that back thusly, and then you split this down and you bring these all the way down. Again, very similar to what we had with Cloudraker. So you spin that, rotate here at the thigh, keep this kind of pulled back, rotate these around, and then again, rotate these bits back, spin this around. You can take this and then collapse this more up against the back of his arm thusly, then rotate his head around, and there you have, and kind of straighten out his legs a little bit more. But when you're done, there you have Wingspan as well as Pounce in their really cool little evil Decepticon clone modes. And honestly, between these guys and the Autobot clones, I really do think that these ones look better. At least they look more like identical twins, I would say. The biggest thing is that there's not a lot of excess like robot junk hanging off. I mean, they kind of have it, but it is a lot more matched up with one another. Now, for the comparisons, I'm going to set these little guys right there. And here are the Autobot clones. And again, it's not bad. The biggest thing when you looked at these guys, it's like the Fastlane had the tires and the weird spoiler thing. Well, I mean, these two don't look bad, and they look like they're twins, obviously. There were some noticeable bits that stood out. That was like, hey, wait a minute, they're supposed to be twins. How come this guy doesn't have that? With, Pounce and Wingspan here, they kind of match that look a little bit better. Otherwise, they kind of have the same thing going on. The legs, you got the little knee, you got the white feet, you have the darker outer section here. The back is really only where things get a little bit less cohesive. But again, you got the head hanging down here. You got a little section hanging down here, which kind of is similar between the two. The only thing that's really different would be, you know, Pounce has the legs up here where that Wingspan doesn't, but I mean, Wingspan has these ones that he doesn't. So I'm pretty happy with it. But again, overall, fairly similar look. You can see that they do have the different rub sign-ish sort of thing where Pounce has his little cat head. You got the little eagle here on Wingspan. The rest looks pretty much the same. The torso is pretty much the same looking. Head sculpt is the same. The head has some nice silver for the face and then red for the eyes. Looking at the rest, I mean, it is pretty much identical. The thighs are the same. The upper part of the legs are the same. The, I guess, shoulder bits here are the same. So very similar. Articulation, you have heads that are on swivels, as you can see with the transformation. You have a ball joint here for the shoulder, moving very nicely. This is weird, though, I think, and it tends to annoy me, to be honest. They have upper bicep swivels, and then they also have ball jointed elbows. So I really don't know why you needed that. I mean, you could have just left it rotate at the ball joint. I mean, that's how these guys were. So you can bring that up and you can rotate that around. So you can still get that same position with these. I don't know why you need to rotate that. And then what that ends up causing is like a straightness issue. Like the upper section will be rotated more than it needs to be. And that, I don't know why, that's like an OCD thing that's driving me nuts. Like, for example, right here, and then you can see that the ball joint actually goes down on an angle, keeping these kind of curved around. I don't know. I don't like how that is. I don't know necessarily why they had to put the ball joint peg thing kind of, I mean, because you can see straight like that, it goes down and then it goes in. I don't know why they needed to do that, but it is what it is. So, I mean, the articulation is the same on these guys. So both of them have, you know, like see here, like this. He's got his, that's straight, and then his elbow bends. I mean, like I said, OCD is tripping me out right now with this, and it's driving me nuts. I don't like that. Doesn't have a swivel or anything at the hips or at the waist. He does have ball jointed hips, moving forward and back, in and out. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh. You also do get, because the ball is pretty big, you also do get some rotation up there. And then you have hinged knees. Both, like I said, are the exact same in terms of the articulation, so nothing really changes. But really cool, fun little guys. Like I said, I think they look a little bit better than the Autobots. So I think that if you're going to get the Autobots, you might as well get the Decepticons as well. For the transformation, it is pretty simple to do. We're just going to go through that. It is what we have seen many times before. Just going to angle this with the other two that we've gotten. So nothing really changes in terms of that. Take this, rotate this out, and then you have to spin this around. And this always, well, no, not that way, Paul. And then you bring this in and bend that, and then you lock that in there. There's a little slot section right on the inside here that, there we go, grabs that just like so. So again, you bring this out, rotate this around. No, wait, no, keep that out like that. Yeah, and then you rotate that. Then yeah, lock that in there just like so. You can play with the tail however you want. Like I said, these don't lock in anything, which is unfortunate. That kind of is a little annoying. So when you're done, there you have Wingspan in his little birdie mode. So set him right there. And then for Pounce, again, you rotate his head around like so. Fold out this head. Take these, fold these down. Again, you can position these however you really want. I think the instructions actually have you kind of going for these, kind of going like this, but because they don't really tab in anything, you can put them any way you want, and I kind of think it looks a little bit better like this. Kind of goes along the body a little bit more. Yeah, you have the little gap right there, but it's not that terrible, I suppose. Rotate at the thigh on both sides, fold out the little feet, kind of bend this, angle this, fold this back, and straighten out these little front arms some, and then play with all this stuff. And there you have Pounce in his beast mode. Overall, I mean, like I said, I mean, I think I said this in the review of the Autobot ones. These are definitely fairly niche characters. We got them in one episode of G1, like the very last episode of G1, the return of Optimus Prime. I don't remember but we never really saw him beyond that, unless you watched the Headmaster series, and a lot of people didn't. Initially, they didn't have access to it. I know I didn't. As we got older, we got access to it, but by that point in time, I didn't care that much about Transformers. So they're a niche group, but they're fun. They're really cool, and I mean, even the Autobots are fun to just sit there and play with. The Takara ones, I think, look a little bit better in terms of the paint detail, more so here on the Decepticons than the Autobots. And because this is a TakaraTomy exclusive, the paint is a little bit different, but I don't think that the paint is really above and beyond what the Hasbro one gave us. I just honestly picked these guys up because of the convenience of getting the Autobots and the Decepticons in a set together. I only had to buy 2 things as opposed to trying to find 3 different things to buy. So it was a convenience thing mostly for me. Whether you have the Hasbro version or the Takara ones, these are good toys to have. And I would honestly recommend picking up either set. But if the Takara ones here are ones that you like and would like to put in your collection, they are available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on these guys, as well as the rest of the wide range of TakaraTomy Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, I would really appreciate you letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, guys, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to help support my channel and not miss any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, till all are one.